What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Tinfoil Chronicles. If you missed the first video, definitely go and check that one out when you can, but basically what I do in these videos are go over and discuss a few thoughts that I've had. The Tinfoil Chronicles are not well-crafted theories with tons of evidence. These are just some things that I want to mention that are alternatives to the popular theories that are out there. I'm not saying these things are going to happen, but I think they are interesting enough for us to explore a little bit further. So let's begin. I want to start this off by giving an alternative outcome other than the more popular beliefs that are out there. Recently, HBO released 15 new photos that were taken during the filming of Season 7. One of the most talked about photos was the one of Jon Snow standing in what looked to be the crypts of Winterfell. Chances are he's just paying his respects to Ned or Rickon, because after the Battle of the Bastards ended, Jon told the men to take Rickon's body down into the crypts and put him next to his father. So most likely this is what Jon's doing in this photo. He's paying his respects and probably reminiscing on happier times that he had with them. But we all know that Ned is not actually Jon's father. Not only that, but we know his real mother is actually down in those crypts. So when this photo was released by HBO, it made a lot of us very excited. Jon has been wanting to know who his real mother is for a very long time, and now that Bran knows Jon's mother is Lyanna, we are getting closer and closer to Jon finally getting some answers and some closure, as long as Bran is able to give him this big reveal, which will make for a very emotional scene when it finally happens, something I cannot wait to see. But that's not all. What also makes this interesting is the possibility of Jon finding something inside of Lyanna's statue, something that will reveal who Jon's father is, which is Rhaegar Targaryen. I think most of us are hoping that there is a harp or a sword or a Targaryen wedding cloak or anything that can further prove that Jon is actually a Targaryen. If you've watched my video about Winterfell's crypts that I made months ago, then you know that I'm on the side of the fence of believing something being down there in the crypts that prove Jon is a Targaryen. Whether that's in Lyanna's tomb or down in the lowest levels where it's partially collapsed, either way, I definitely think something is down there somewhere. But the biggest question is, how will Jon find this out? What will drive him to go down into the crypts to learn of his lineage? Bran Stark obviously knows that Lyanna is Jon's mother now, so that's the most likely of answers. We all hope at some point Bran can get to Jon to tell him what he saw at the Tower of Joy. But we have no idea when Bran will be able to do this. We think Bran will go back to Winterfell, but we do not know he will go there right away for a fact. I made a video recently about another way Bran could tell Jon about his mother, without having to actually be in Winterfell to tell Jon. I think Bran could lead Jon down there via a crow, just like the Three-Eyed Raven used to lead Bran down there in Season 1. Now that Bran is the Three-Eyed Raven, he can relay messages and information through the crow, without having to risk sending a raven and that note getting in the wrong hands, which could put Jon in danger that he wouldn't see coming. And some other people believe that Sam will be the one to tell Jon. Now that Sam is at the Citadel, there is a good chance he could find some hidden document that can prove Jon's true lineage. And of course, another way could be Hallan Reed. Hallan Reed was at the Tower of Joy with Ned, so he definitely knows Ned went home with a baby that day, which was Lyanna's baby. Hallan could definitely confirm to Jon that he is not Ned's son. But I think there may be another way Jon can find out who his mother is. I think Jon can still find out who his mother is by the same man who promised to tell him in the first place.
Is my mother alive? Does she know about me, where I am, where I'm going? Does she care?
The next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother. I promise.
Ned made a promise to Jon that the next time they see each other, he would tell him about his mother. But unfortunately, we know how this part of the story ends. Jon goes to the Wall to become a brother of the Night's Watch, and Ned goes to King's Landing where he is eventually beheaded by the bastard false King Joffrey. This was one of the most shocking and tragic turn of events, not only because the late great honorable Ned Stark was killed, but also because Jon Snow never got those answers he was looking for. And I know a lot of people say, who cares if Jon ever finds out? What purpose does it serve to the story whether Jon finds this out? I understand what you're saying, but wouldn't you want to know? I personally don't mind spending a few minutes of showtime for Jon to learn of this. Even though we're running out of time with only 13 episodes left, it wouldn't bother me to dedicate several scenes to this. I think Jon deserves to know. But you're probably wondering how the hell Ned Stark can keep this promise now that he's dead. He promised Jon that the next time they see each other, he would tell him about his mother. Well, how the hell is he going to do this now? Let's first think about the promise Ned fulfilled to Lyanna. She asked Ned to promise to keep Jon safe, because if Robert ever found out, he would kill her baby. And we definitely know Robert is willing to do something like this. He wanted Daenerys and her baby killed, so I do think he would have had Jon killed too. But in order for Ned to keep this a secret, he had to lie to damn near everyone, which is not in Ned's nature to do. That goes against his honor. But if you remember what Maester Aemon said to Jon, then you know this was something Ned was willing to do. Maester Aemon said, "What is honor compared to a woman's love? What is duty against the feel of a newborn son in your arms, or the memory of a brother's smile? Wind and words, wind and words. We are only human, and the gods have fashioned us for love. That is our great glory and our great tragedy." Ned was willing to lie to his best friend, his king, which could have gotten himself killed, in order to protect Jon and honor his sister's promise. Ned was willing to lie to his wife and bring great shame to himself because everyone thought the great Ned Stark cheated on his wife with some tavern wench. Stannis wasn't fooled though, was he? But when Ned brought this baby home, and he lied and said it was his, he was willing to ruin his marriage, or at the very least, cause some serious turmoil within Winterfell's walls, which Jon was mostly on the receiving end of this. But he did this to keep Jon safe and fulfill the promise his sister Lyanna asked of him. Now fast forward several years later to when Ned makes another promise. A promise to Jon that he would tell him about his mother when they see each other again. I think Ned can still live up to this promise even while being dead. But you're going to have to get your tinfoil out right now. But Ned seems like the type of man that can live up to a promise, even after death. And considering the type of fantasy world this is, pretty much anything is possible. Especially with people who have these prophetic dreams or premonitions. Jon says something interesting to Samwell Tarly that can provide the answer for how Ned can still tell Jon about his mother. Jon says to Sam, "All my dreams are of the crypts, of the stone kings on their thrones. Sometimes I hear Robb's voice and my father's," meaning Ned Stark. What if Jon has another dream of the crypts, and he heard his father telling him to go down there, to go down to Lyanna's tomb? Now that Jon is back in Winterfell, I think this is going to stir up a lot of emotions and memories of Ned. Especially now that Jon is basically turning into Ned. Not only that, but Jon is now sleeping in Ned's bedroom. Remember, Sansa told him to stay in the master bedroom because he is a Stark. He is a Stark to her. I think with Jon being in Winterfell again, and possibly even sleeping in Ned's bed, I think there's a very good chance he can have these types of dreams or memories of the day Ned told Jon he would tell him about his mother. This probably sounds ridiculous, but I still think there is a chance Ned can keep this promise and tell Jon something through a dream. Just like Jon told Sam, when he dreams of the crypts, he hears his father's voice. Secrets of the Citadel said if this is Jon standing at Lyanna's tomb in the HBO promo photo, then she thinks something is calling Jon there, or drawing him to it. And I agree with her. If this is Jon standing in front of her tomb, I think something is drawing him there too, and I think it could be Ned. How crazy would it be if, right before Jon leaves Winterfell to go to Dragonstone, he goes down into the crypts to pay his respects to his family? What if when he walks past Lyanna's statue or stands in front of Lyanna's statue, he suddenly hears Ned's voice? He heard Ned telling him, "I promise to tell you about your mother," as he is standing right there looking at her.
The next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother. I promise.
Personally, I think that would be absolutely amazing and very emotional, especially if they had the Stark theme playing in the background. I know my eyes would water up. But tell me what you think about this though. I know it's covered in tinfoil, but damn it, I want Jon to have some closure. And I think this would be a cool way for Ned to keep that promise still. Comment below with your thoughts. As always, thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I want to give a big thank you to everyone over on Patreon. Your support means a great deal to me, and I cannot thank you all enough. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you down in the comment section. Bye.